When a building collapses, it rarely starts with the bricks. It starts when the underlying framework gives way, unable to support the weight on top. This is exactly what happens inside your body as you age. You might be spending money on calcium supplements for your bones or collagen creams for your skin, only to find that your joints still ache and your tissues continue to sag. Calcium and collagen require a structural fishnet to work. Silica serves as this physical lattice. Your tissues and bones are matrices functioning as docking stations. Free-floating calcium drifts until it locks into the nodes of this silica net, finally making the bone solid. But getting the silica your body needs is surprisingly difficult. In its raw, natural state in the earth, silica is silicon dioxide. It is the solid quartz and sand beneath your feet. Consuming structural supplements without a way to absorb silica leaves your internal frame incomplete. You are giving your body bricks, but completely forgetting the scaffolding. To see how vital silica is to biological production, we have to look at a strange observation made by French researcher Corentin Louis Kervran. Kervran was studying the dietary inputs and outputs of agricultural livestock, paying specific attention to chickens. He noticed a biological paradox. Even when he completely removed all calcium from a chicken's diet, the bird continued to lay eggs with perfectly hard, calcium-rich shells. The chickens were actually converting the silica from their diet into calcium. They did this through a process called protonization. Protonization is a biological mechanism where a living body moves a proton from one element to another, transforming the material. Kervran tested this by finally restricting the silica in the chicken's feed. The moment the silica was gone, the egg production stopped immediately. The silica was the foundational raw material all along. While animals like chickens have the specific digestive acids to break down raw silica from the dirt and perform this biological conversion, human digestion is entirely different. We cannot efficiently process raw, inorganic earth materials. Our bodies require silica to maintain our structural integrity, but we are completely bottlenecked by the type of silica we attempt to ingest. This chart breaks down the three main categories of silica available to humans, comparing their sources, bioavailability, and drawbacks. The first row shows the inorganic form. Standard silicon dioxide has near zero systemic absorption. It passes straight through the human digestive tract without being utilized. It is a simple limitation of our anatomy. You cannot just go to the beach, eat scoops of sand, and expect your sore joints to heal. The traditional human solution has always been the dietary approach. We rely on certain plants that have root acids strong enough to take apart raw soil silica and convert it into a usable form within their stems and leaves. Historically, we would absorb this processed silica by eating plants rich in the mineral, specifically horsetail and oats. The structural power of plant-based silica is obvious in nature. Bamboo, one of the most silica-rich plants on Earth, is so structurally strong and flexible that it is routinely used as scaffolding for skyscrapers. But relying on a plant-based diet for silica today has a major flaw. Modern agricultural soils are severely depleted, meaning the plants we grow no longer pull the same volume of minerals from the earth. The recommended daily allowance for silica is about 40 milligrams. Because of modern soil depletion, you would have to consume a massive, completely unrealistic volume of these plants every single day just to hit that baseline target. Dietary intake alone is mathematically insufficient for therapeutic repair. To solve this absorption crisis, researchers had to look to bioengineering. The solution came from a French scientist who developed a lab-optimized formula called methylselenotriol. This formula takes standard silica and attaches a single carbon atom to it. In chemistry, adding carbon makes a molecule organic. This means it becomes highly recognizable and easily processed by human biology. This slight modification solves the biological bottleneck. While a raw, jagged mineral molecule gets blocked by the cell wall, the carbon-bound version slips right through, making it highly absorbable. This organic silica is deployed in two ways. The first is an oral liquid dose. Because it is carbon-bound, it bypasses heavy digestion and is absorbed immediately into the system to resolve internal inflammatory issues and structural pain. The second method is a highly concentrated topical gel. This is designed for direct application to areas of physical trauma, like broken bones or severe scars and torn ligaments. Applying the gel directly to an injury allows the organic silica to sink straight into the damaged tissue, and it rapidly accelerates the knitting together of collagen and elastin, bypassing normal, slow metabolic healing timelines entirely. Attaching a single carbon atom bypasses a major anatomical limit, allowing a mineral that typically passes right through the body to integrate directly into your connective tissues. So, how do you know if you actually need this level of structural support? It depends entirely on your current biological state. There is a critical biological inflection point around age 32. This is the threshold where your natural connective tissue repair slows down, and physical flexibility begins an undeniable decline. This decision tree maps out specific physical conditions to help you determine the correct silica protocol for your age and wear and tear. If you are under 30 and generally healthy, a standard diet with silica-rich foods is likely sufficient to maintain your baseline structure, assuming you have no acute injuries. If you are past 32 and experiencing the general signs of aging, routine joint soreness, sinking tissues, or lackluster hair, the daily oral liquid supplement provides the systemic maintenance your body is starting to lack. Finally, if you are dealing with severe structural damage, like scars, broken collarbones, or torn ligaments, you combine the oral liquid with the localized topical gel to flood the specific injury site with repair materials. There is a practical trade-off to consider here. Accessing this optimized carbon-bound molecule requires a daily routine and a higher financial investment compared to cheap over-the-counter calcium pills, but it actually gets absorbed. Physical vitality relies on more than just high doses of minerals. Lasting repair is only possible when your body has the specific carbon-bound material required to physically rebuild its own internal structure. Every time your foot strikes the pavement, a vibration travels up your leg. In a single mile, your joints absorb thousands of kinetic shockwaves, each one creating micro-tears in the surrounding connective tissue. For younger runners, the body repairs this damage within hours, but as the seasons pass, a disconnect emerges. Your cardiovascular fitness may remain intact, yet your joints and tendons take longer to return to a baseline state. That morning stiffness is the physical signal of accumulated structural fatigue. This signals a structural deficit. Over time, the body consumes the essential building blocks of joints and cartilage faster than it can replace them through a standard diet. This diagram compares two connective tissue matrices. On the left is healthy tissue, dense and tightly woven. On the right, the tissue is frayed and brittle. The missing element in the degraded matrix is silica. Silica is the raw material the body uses to bind collagen and elastin together, creating the physical scaffolding for your joints. Standard rest and stretching protocols often fail to resolve this because they do not address the biological absence of these repair materials. Without the physical components to rebuild the scaffolding, the structural damage remains. When silica enters the system at the cellular level, it provides the components needed to repair the microdamage from training. It acts as a molecular binder, weaving frayed tissue fibers back into a smooth, cohesive band. This process involves cellular hydration. Silica draws moisture into the tissue cells, increasing their volume. This internal moisture reduces the friction within the muscle that leads to post-run soreness. Silica supports arterial elasticity. A flexible blood vessel expands, delivering a higher volume of oxygen and nutrients to recovering muscles. This increased flow saturates surrounding bone and joint structures, supporting bone density and restoring the joint's natural range of motion. However, the effectiveness of silica depends on bioavailability, the measure of how much of the mineral actually reaches the bloodstream. Generic silica supplements often possess a molecular structure that the human digestive system cannot easily absorb. Exula Superfoods Orasil provides 400 milligrams of silica per serving. This is a superfood-grade form of the mineral sourced from bamboo sap, specifically selected for its high rate of assimilation. Utilizing a bioavailable source of silica provides the physical components for a structural rebuild, rather than relying on rest alone. While silica provides the raw material, a recovery ecosystem is required to address the other biological factors that slow down an aging athlete. Orasil addresses physical inflammation through the inclusion of turmeric, ginger, and black cumin seed. These botanicals support the body's natural inflammatory response, facilitating a more comfortable recovery period. To address energy depletion, the formula includes coenzyme Q10 and royal jelly. These ingredients support mitochondrial health, providing the metabolic vigor needed for the next training session. Intense running also generates oxidative stress. This process produces free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cellular integrity if not neutralized. Oracil contains 30 milligrams of Eclonia cava extract and pine pycnogenol. These antioxidants neutralize free radicals, protecting cells from high-mileage training stress. By managing oxidative stress and inflammation, this botanical formulation allows silica to perform its structural work without interference. Comprehensive recovery requires both the raw building materials and the correct biological environment to utilize them. With structural support in place, the morning after experience changes. The fluid movement seen here reflects a body returned to baseline mobility without usual hesitation. The math of this process is straightforward. Increased joint flexibility and reduced muscle discomfort shorten the recovery window required between training days. Providing the body with optimal structural support changes the physical trajectory of aging in endurance sports, allowing for sustained vitality. This protocol offers a dual benefit: short-term, managing joint sensations; long-term, systemic resilience, bone density. Running in later years is a balance between ambition and biology. Supporting the body's repair systems allows your performance to be guided by your capacity rather than your age.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river turned to dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must.